Hey everybody, it's Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the Amazon FBA and e-commerce podcast.
Lunch with Norm. Lunch with Norm. Lunch with
Okay, I can't get started to get this episode going today. We're going to be talking about news, updates, and anything related to Amazon. My guest is a monthly repeat. He mentors sellers collectively doing over, get this, $500 million US a year on Amazon.com through his Freedom Ticket program and Helium 10 Elite Masterminds. He also organizes one of the best events that are out there. I think it's the top event of the year. I told you last year about 1,000 times, but that's BDSS. And there is a virtual summit coming up in February. We're going to be touching on that a little bit today as well. You already know who it is. It's Kevin King. So we'll get to Kevin in a second. But before we do, we're just going to have a quick word from our sponsor. Thank you, Sellerize, for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. Sellerize is your comprehensive solution for your everyday business needs. Everything you need to grow and scale your Amazon business is just one click away. For more information, contact Dima and his team over at Sellerize.com. And remember, Sellerize is with one R. One R. All right. Where is the boy wonder, the squire, the man that makes the legend?
I'm here. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. My sound tiles are falling around me.
Oh, no. We'll have to.
You have a job to do when you come home.
I'll get right on that. Get the masking tape out.
Yeah.
Be looking perfect.
All right. Perfect.
All right. Great.
Only quality in this podcast booth.
Yeah, we're a high quality podcast here. High value. All right. So welcome, Manny. We've got lots of people joining us. That's fantastic. Simon, Darwin, DK Kim, Jeff. Already thrown in a hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, which, by the way, we have an awesome prize. Guys, you're going to love this. Stick around to find out more about this. Or you can start throwing the Wheel of Kelsey and just risk it. But it is a fantastic prize. So highly, highly recommend.
Okay, let's give it it's one of Kelsey's locks of hair.
Yeah, so I want to see big numbers come in for this Wheel of Kelsey. Anyways, Anna, welcome. Rad, it's great to see everyone. Hello. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Zusha. We've got a great episode today. There's so much going on. Also, Seller Mania, you're going to be hosting, or you're going to be part of that. That's happening on Monday, right, Norm?
That's correct.
All right, so I'm going to throw the link in for that. Also, we have a brand new blog out. It's about Helium 10 versus Jungle Scout. Check it out. And yeah, we can just jump into it. And this is, we do a Q&A kind of session, casual, relaxed episode. So if you have any questions, get them over into the comment sections. Due to just the amount of questions that we get in, we can't guarantee that we have everything answered, but we're going to do our best. If you miss out, just go over to our Facebook group. That's Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA and eCommerce Collective, and you can ask your question there, and someone from our community will help you out. And that's it.
All right, Anna, I love Calgary. I just noticed Anna's from Calgary, and we know Tony. Hey, Tony, if you win again, I don't know if we can even allow Tony to enter, but he's been winning too many prizes lately. Okay, so if you do have questions, like Kelsey said, throw them over into the comments section. Usually when Kevin comes on, we get a ton of questions, so please make sure you get them in. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and enjoy the show. What? I knew you sold calendars, but I did not know you sold our calendar.
Yeah, this one's going gangbusters, man. This calendar, we sold like $50,000 worth in December on this calendar.
Just on that calendar.
On this calendar alone.
Very good.
And it's so small and light, you know.
Yep.
But you know the problem is these little metal clips get caught in the bag, and customers are complaining left and right because the bag is coming coming open, damaged. And I'm like, so I've had to replace like 1,000 of them so far.
Some customers are idiots.
Yeah, I know. I don't and then the return rate is like through the roof, like 26% return rate.
Oh my God.
And we're not even through January yet.
Thanks, Kev. Come on, it made you laugh a little bit when you got it.
Yeah, I'm like looking at here, like, okay, did they actually pose for these pictures? Did they take them? Because y'all have different angles and stuff, or did y'all actually? Because some you're looking this way, some you're like,
yeah. Oh, you have to find them on the internet somewhere. Oh, that's good. So yeah, Tim and I had a lot of fun doing that. But and that was just during one of our staff meetings. So, oh, we should do a calendar.
This is the private label Legion calendar, you see? So if you don't have yours, how do they get one of these, Norm?
Oh, Kevin, they can go to Private Label Legion or to Lunch with Norm or to Centurion League and order one.
There you go.
There we go.
Nice little calendar. The one thing that got me, though, if you look on the back, I think these are print-on-demand calendars.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out what the cockroach is on the back. There's a little cockroach or a little bug of some sort right there. Maybe it's a grasshopper.
Hey, you know what? That's a little extra.
Right there.
You have to pay for that.
What is that logo?
Oh well, I don't know.
Where is it? It's right there. You see by my finger. You see right there.
No, I don't see. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, man? Happy New Year to you.
And to you, sir. You're steaming up my glasses. But you just have that effect on me. All right. So, sir. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna ask you once. Do you have can we do a toast?
No, I don't have it.
Oh, nice.
Well, I have my Aggie one.
All right.
We have the top recruiting class ever in the history of college football. So I have my Aggie.
All right. Okay. Now I'm hurt. Oh, all right. So Amazon 2022. What are your thoughts on it right now? Looking forward to it? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly?
I think it's going to be a combination of all of that. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting year. See what happens with all the legal stuff, in Congress, and see how that affects stuff. Amazon's still growing. It slowed down a little bit from the 2020 big boom, but it's still growing. You got the thing that's got me is removal fees are more than double. Next week. People realize that. I mean, I have right now. I have speaking of calendars. One of my businesses is calendars, and it's seasonal. It's so pretty much they're still selling right now, but it's starting to taper down. Every day I'm going down probably 5%, 5%, 5%. So I've got some extra stock sitting there. I think we've got about 890 of one of them and 820 or something another one. And I'm looking at used to cost me 35 cents to pull them back,
right,
or to dispose of them. Now the new fee is going to be 75 cents. And so I'm like, I got Sunday, I guess I'm going to have to figure out Sunday or Monday. I'm going to have to figure out how much am I going to keep there and how much am I going to pull back. Because it'll make a huge, it could be $1,000, $2,000 difference in just fees on what I decide to do. So yeah, that's a lot of people got to pay attention to that. And the new disposal and removal fees are jumped quite a bit, especially for some of the heavier items. So that's a big one that's coming up the next few days for a lot of people.
Yeah, long-term storage fees, even the size.
Yeah, there's a new update on that goes into effect. Yeah, so Amazon keeps raising the cost, and you got coupled that with Amazon raising their fees, and all the shipping costs are increased, and just the general inflation across the board. It's going to be challenging for some people. You're going to have some people that have old stock in there at old prices, and they can sell it for less than what you might be able to sell as a new seller. So it's going to be interesting.
We had Tim and I were talking about this, and going out, and you can go out to a manufacturer and get your package made, and then you could go to a packaging expert to get your package made, and it could be the weight of the package itself. It could be the size of the package itself, because if let's say you're shipping this bottle, and it's in a package, you might be having a lot of space there that you could reduce just to get it in there, and you could save a buck or two just on the package, the size of the package and the quality of the package. So these are things that people have to look at when they're doing it. And your manufacturer is not necessarily the person to go to talk to about this.
That's true. When you look at companies like IKEA, there's a reason IKEA has you put everything together. One, it keeps the cost down. They don't have to have someone in the factory put it together, but also it's mostly for shipping reasons. They can consolidate a big drawer or something into a little flat, skinny box and get more into a container. And so I think a lot of Amazon sellers are going to have to start thinking more along those lines. What can you do? Because sometimes just shaving a quarter inch off of something or an ounce or two off of something can make a huge difference. And I think that you have to start paying a lot more attention to those weights and dems and seeing if you can't re-engineer your product in some way to get it inside the next, especially if you're just right over that threshold, get it down.
And that's something, Helium 10 has an app called Profitability. So when you when you load, or if you have Helium 10, and I don't even know if it's in the paid version, but if you have the Helium 10 app and you go on to your product, this is just a Chrome extension, I think.
It's
You'll see on every listing, and you can go in and you can calculate what it's going to cost, and you shave that quarter inch off, you'll see exactly how much you'll save, or the weight. Maybe your product, let's say it's a wood product, maybe you can get a lighter weight product like aluminum or a resin, which could bring down the weight significantly, and you'll see that you'll save $1 or $2 there. I mean, all these little fees are just saying Amazon doesn't want to touch your stuff, or if they do, they want to make money on you.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Amazon's doubled their fulfillment capacity in the last 2 years. So, I mean, the number of warehouses they have and their ability to handle this volume is good. So they got to pay for that somehow. And their costs are going up, even though they've brought in their whole delivery system. It used to be everything came UPS or US Mail. In some cases, you might get a FedEx. I don't think Amazon even uses FedEx anymore. I don't ever get anything FedEx from Amazon unless it's a FBM or someone doing FBM. But now that they have their own delivery system, they've really reduced their costs over what they were paying UPS. Like where I live here in my condo, the UPS guy the Amazon guy shows up with like 80 packages. In a day, and just throws them in we have lockers that they put them in downstairs, and that saving, they're paying that guy $15 an hour or whatever in 30 minutes he could deliver 80 packages, versus in the old days they'd be paying, even heavily discounted rates with UPS or US Mail, they'd be paying $2 or $3 at a minimum per package.
So
their cost savings there is huge, and they've become the biggest, I think the third biggest delivery company, and some projecting they're going to be the biggest delivery company, and actually start doing deliveries for other people, where you're actually going to be able to ship using Amazon delivery, from your own warehouse, versus just Amazon doing it. So it's they're trying to drive down the cost everywhere they can, but they're still raising their fees despite all that, because they got shareholders to please,
right,
and spaceships to send up and everything else.
Got to have those spaceships. What company doesn't have their own spaceship? So Afalabi and Chelsea Cohen were on the Centurion League call last night, and Afalabi was talking about configuring your containers, and Chelsea, or the boxes, right? Your packages. And Chelsea was talking about configuring containers. And even taking that into consideration, a lot of people don't realize that when you put on, create a pallet, well, there's a lot of ways that you can reconfigure things to make it add in an extra 100 or 1,000 units in a container. And even the way that the container is structured itself, you can save money doing that. And these are things that a lot of people really never talked about before, but this is all about saving money now. The container costs are so expensive. Anything that you can do to get an extra 100 into your container will help out your bottom line.
Yeah, even going with an HQ container sometimes, which is they're slightly taller, can sometimes make a huge difference. Or I often don't even palletize on my containers. I floor load just to get that extra space to maximize in there. Yeah, it might cost you more when you offload it. That you're good to go. But if you do the math, you have to do the math, I guess. But in most cases, for me, it's better to floor load than it is to palletize.
Oh yeah, you don't want to hear what Afalabi says about people like you. He gets a container and there's no pallets. He's not a happy camper.
No, it's extra work. It takes
it is.
Time, but it depends on what he's charging me for that. In some cases, it may make sense because I can get a lot more in the container. It depends on the product, you know.
Hey, before we go any further, and this is like you just dropped this on us about a minute before we were going live. Let's talk about your giveaway today. It's awesome.
Yeah, we're giving away 3 locks of Chelsea's hair. And so you can take, if you want to replicate the Farrar family, you can take that DNA, take it to a lab, and we'll even include a prepaid label, and you can send that in and get into the mind of the Farrars.
Oh my God, it's about as empty as his bottle.
No, what I'm happy to do for your audience, Norm, and for everybody that's listening here today is, coming up in February, I do the $1 Billion Seller Summit, or as you refer to it by its initials, BDSS. That's not BSDM, that's BDSS, just to be clear. I do two of these a year. It's a very high level Amazon, very action oriented, really not for beginners events. I do one in person. They've been in Austin. The next one's in August here in Austin. Then after this year, we're actually going to start doing it in some other places, but we've done them in Austin just because Austin's a cool place to come and a lot to do here. But I also do a virtual one once a year. And last year it was in March. And this year it's in February. It's February 23rd and 24th. So you can do it from anywhere in the world. It's the ticket for that is $1,497, and they'll be going on sale soon. The page is not even up yet, even though it's about a month away. The page is not even up yet. But it's about there's 15 big sponsors on it, and then there's 12 to 14 speakers that all actionable, high level stuff, not theory, not here's how to some sort of mindset thing. Although that kind of stuff is important, it's like if you do this, you're going to make this much money. If you do this in your business, this is going to make a difference on your ranking. If you're going to do this, it's going to save you on the shipping. Do this on your PPC. It's very actionable. And so what I would like to do is for all of you that are here live, and sorry for those of you that are watching this on the replay or on YouTube or one of the other channels later, you miss out. That's why you need to come on to Lunch with Norm live. Somebody here is going to get a free ticket to that. So it's a $1,497 value. I'm going to give away a free ticket to one of you lucky ladies or gentlemen that are here live today. And you just have to do whatever Kelsey, whatever you just said Chelsea a minute ago. So whatever Kelsey says, the way to enter that, and we'll spin that wheel, and one of you is going to get a free ticket to that event. It's February 23rd and 24th. It's live. It's not like a summit that's pre-recorded. You do some of these summits and it's pre-recorded and interviews. It's 100% live. We use a special software tool that has breakout rooms and it's cool. Last year when we did it, people really enjoyed it. So all the presentations are live, everything. So it's a $1,497 value. I don't discount those tickets, so that's a real hard core value. I never discount any, and it sells out. The event is limited. So I'm giving up a seat I could sell. So I'm actually taking $1,500 out of my pocket and giving it to somebody here because I could sell that seat. And you say, well, virtual, you could have as many people in there as you want. What do you mean it's limited? It's actually limited because I have a contract with Helium 10. I do training for Helium 10 for the Freedom Ticket and the Helium 10 Elites. I'm not part of Helium 10. I have no ownership in that. Sometimes people think I was something there, but I just have a contract with them. But my contract stipulates I can do 2 events a year, but I can only have so many people at each event. There's a max. They don't want me creating some massive, conference and competing against them. They're doing their own conference in September in Las Vegas at the used to be the Hard Rock. Now it's I think the Virgin or what that casino is. It used to be the Hard Rock. I think it's the Virgin. They have an event there. So so I'm gonna give away a free ticket to somebody here. So I think Kelsey just put up the Wheel of Kelsey link there.
Yep. So just hashtag Wheel of Kelsey if you're a first time listener. And if you tag 2 people, you'll get a second entry. Now, I can tell you that Kevin's virtual as well as his live event, I go to them both. If I'm speaking, if I'm not speaking, this is one event that I listen to and I'll tune into because you've got really great speakers. And like Kevin said, it's all actionable items. I'm not getting paid for this. Kevin doesn't give me an affiliate fee for any of this. This is just one event that I will promote because of the quality of the people. And if you ever get a chance to go to the live event, I'm telling you, the networking that you get there is incredible. There's just so many connections that are made, and it's a lot of fun as well. But anyways, that's enough promoting. I love the event. If you want to get in and try for a free ticket, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about Chinese New Year. What are you doing about it? What do we got to know, Kev?
Yeah, from what I was just on a call a couple nights ago on Tuesday nights with our product savants team over there, and there's a lot of places that are shutting down early this year. Chinese New Year usually is about a 2-week, sometimes a 3-week problem, but there's a lot of places that are already not taking any new orders at all, and some of them are going to extend for like a month or more this year. And even some factories, one I was just told they're closing all the way until April. They're like, yeah, we're just going to give our people some time off until April. So I think it's good. Some of that could be for energy reasons. There's other reasons over in China. It could be labor. It could be, anything that's around the Olympics. The Winter Olympics are happening over there. That's going to affect any factories that are in that area because there's going to be major pollution reductions. Every time there's a big event in China, whether it's a big global leaders conference or something, anything in that general area, they want the skies to be clear. They don't want pollution everywhere, so they put on some extra rules. So that's going to affect some factories as well as the Chinese New Year. So if you haven't got anything in yet, you're probably too late, and you're probably going to have some serious delays when you get back once everything gets ramped up. So if you should have had orders in back in November or early December for anything you wanted to try to get out before Chinese New Year. So you're a little bit late right now, but I think it's gonna exacerbate some of the supply chain issues that are going on with it. And just on that note, I was talking to some of the freight forwarders and Afalabi, and he may have some insight on this too. But the prices, I think, are going to come down a little bit, but I don't think we're ever going to go back to where they were, where you had $3,000, $4,000 containers. I think it's going to bottom out at 10, 12,000, somewhere in that range. So I think. It's not going to be this crazy 20, 30,000. Sometimes people are getting quoted, but I think I think it's going to be another year, 2 years before it really kind of levels off. But it's just going to be the cost of business now. These companies can get the shipping companies can get the price. This is a good time to be a freight forwarder. If you're
absolutely,
if you're a unit cargo or Freightos or one of those kind of people, you're printing money right now for doing the same work, basically. So, the Chinese New Year, you're a little bit too late if you're going to try to make some adjustments now.
Yeah, and it's I've heard a lot of people.
Real quick, Norm, that also affects people. If you're sourcing right now, if you're trying to find new products and you're trying to correspond with these factories, it's going to affect you there too on your sourcing and back and forth. Sometimes the office people come back before the factory people, but a lot of them they're not in the mindset to do a lot of work right now.
Yeah, and it's so unpredictable. I've heard so many people say so many different things about the shipping costs, but I can't see them coming down. Like we were talking a few months ago, and we were saying it's not going to come down after Chinese New Year because you're getting into the busiest part of the year. Why would they bring the freight costs down when you're getting into June, July, and August? So I don't know when they will be coming down, but I'm in your camp that I can't see them coming down to what they were in the past. But one of the things you can do, especially if you're new and you're looking, or if you're already selling on Amazon, you might be looking in other areas. You might go over to India, or you might go over to different countries. You might be looking right here in the US. These are things that you have to take a look at. And there are, depending on what types of products you're looking for, there are fantastic, really great companies right here in the US that are starting up manufacturing, believe it or not, or have manufacturing capabilities. Like I look at the beauty side of things. Supplements, I wouldn't touch supplements, but if you're into that, hey, by all means. But the beauty side of things, wood side of things, digital printing, all these things, you can make some really good coin on.
Yeah, I mean, the problem with the U.S., beauty is probably one of the exceptions, but there's a lot of contract manufacturers here that'll do that in smaller runs. But a lot of stuff here, if you want to order a 500 or 1,000, people won't even return your call in the
No.
U.S. They're just not set up for that. So that's part of the problem. You can do some print on demand, or some of the beauty contract packaging and stuff will do some smaller runs. But for the vast majority, if you're doing life jackets or something like that, they're not going to customize. They're not going to talk to you for 500 or 1,000 units in most cases. But you can go to South America or places. And I know, Norm, you've got a trip that you're involved in that's taking people down to Mexico.
Yeah.
In April. You and Tim and Amy Weiss and a few other people are going on that to try to open their eyes a little bit to the sourcing in Latin America. And we're doing that in one of my companies right now. We're actually trying to get out of China. And we just we're paying the fee. The price in China is a little bit cheaper per unit, but once you add in the 25% Trump tariff, it takes a couple months, on the shipping delays and the duties and everything to bring it in. We can afford to pay a little bit higher price per unit down in Latin America to have these made, and cut our shipping time to 7 to 10 days instead of 1 to 2 months. Have no 25% Trump tariff. The shipping is less. This is not going as far. It can even, in some cases, be trucked instead of having to put on a boat. There's NAFTA, so there's the free trade agreement with the U.S. and Mexico, so there's no duties. So it saves us a lot of money. The problem is that Mexico and Latin America is not geared. The machine is not as well greased as it is in China. So there is no Alibaba really of Latin America. I mean, there's people that are working on this, but there's nothing really that makes it easy. And there's not 100 different inspection companies, and the system is just not as well oiled. So you got to be a little bit more hands-on on it, and you got to do a little bit more digging. But the opportunities are pretty good. But we're noticing on one of ours is it's taking us. We had a factory that was doing dog life jackets in China, and they customized the jackets for us, but they won't turn over the documents to us, the CAD files, the design files, and so we're having to recreate those right now. So we hired Gimba to actually get those.
Hi, Kevin. Sorry to interrupt. It's Norm's
you
fault.
We hired Gimba to come in and recreate this for us, and then to get the factory set up and running. They just told us the other day it's going to be about 6 to 8 months before we can actually have the final good. So there is a big lead time there just to get that ramped back up. So that's one of the disadvantages. But once you do that, I think you can find some really good cost and time savings. And I think a lot more people need to be looking at that. And I think, if Latin America, certain things like textiles, electronics are really good in Latin America. But the problem still in Latin America is a lot of the raw materials and the machinery. If you're doing something really custom, it still comes out of China.
Right.
So it's a catch-22 there, but it's something that we're seriously exploring right now.
Yeah.
Actually doing.
Yeah, and I think that my family was involved quite heavily in the EVA business 10 years ago or so. Anyways, EVA was always out of China. All your big manufacturers out of China. So I'm at the Prosper show last year, and I meet this father and son who have this huge EVA factory in Colombia. Mm-hmm. And not only is it high,
they have one in Mexico too.
Yeah, quality, like as good or better than Chinese EVA, and now it's in Colombia, and the prices are very competitive. So, anyways, people are seeing this, and they're seeing the opportunities in South America or Mexico, and I'm talking about people within the country, and they're opening up these factories. So, it's kind of like you're 100% right. You're not going to get the same. efficiencies as you have in China, but that'll come. And I just think there's a big opportunity there.
I do too.
All right. So let's switch a little bit over to the Amazon listing side. So are you seeing anything that people should be taking advantage of when they're putting up a listing right now, or when they get brand registry? Anything that catches your eye?
Well, you need a video. You need a really good video. It doesn't have to be a professional commercial level, but you need a good quality selling video on your listing if you're brand registered. But listing wise, still, I think the most important thing is still that title, the keywords that are in that title. Bradley at Helium 10 has done his own Maldives method and doing the research to see where the opportunities are on keywords, so people don't have those keywords in their title, or there's less competition. I think is still the best thing you can do. When you first launch a new product, you have your list of 15, 20 keywords that you're targeting. Some of them are maybe 30,000 searches a month, some 15,000, some 1,000 searches a month, some maybe 500. And you're like, I really like to rank on this 30,000 one. But in today's world where search fund buys are kind of, some people are still doing them, but you're not supposed to be doing that anymore. And launching is becoming a little bit more difficult. You need to find that little edge. And what I like to do is take those listed 20 keywords, throw them through the Helium 10 X-ray tool, or you can use Cerebro or Magnet. I think it gives you, I think they call it title density now. And you can actually see, if your keyword is dog leash, and you can see how many people on page one have the keyword dog leash in their title. It's usually 50, 60 results that show up on page one. And if less than 6, and my rule is if less than 6 of those, dog leash, everybody's going to have in the title. That's probably a bad example. Dog leash for Shih Tzus or something. Let's say that dog leash for Shih Tzus. That keyword, how many people have that in their title? And if it's less than 6, and that keyword has good search volume, and it doesn't have to be 30,000. It could be 500 or 1,000 search volume. That's very niche down search volume. And less than 6 people have that in their title, that could be a keyword that you actually want to put in your title and start there to launch your product. And start at that, and because you're going to be able to get to page one way faster. And yes, you're not going to be making gangbuster sales, but you have to remember it's not a race on Amazon. Everybody thinks they got to put their product up, and within a week or two, it's that old mentality of 2015, 2016 is be on page one. And have a little patience and grow it. As long as you're growing it, you're gonna be fine. It might take you a couple months or more to get to page one for a lot of the keywords you really want, but start with that low-lying fruit and build your way up. And if it's dog leash for Shih Tzus and there's only 500 searches a month for that, you have to remember the conversion rate on that is going to be way higher than just dog leash, which has, let's say, 30,000. I'm just making these numbers up. 30,000 searches per month. Because it's a much, you might have on the word dog leash, you might have a 3%, 5% conversion rate overall. But on dog leash for Shih Tzus, you might have a 40, 50% conversion rate. So that means there's 500 sales, or potentially as many as 500 sales. And you can see some of this in brand analytics. You can get a rough idea. Maybe it's much as 500 sales being made on that. And if you could be in those top 6, you could probably capture 50 or 100 of those sales, if not more, depending on your listing. And so start there. But the beauty is every time someone makes a buy on dog leash for Shih Tzus, you're also getting a little bit of credit for the word dog leash. So if you can find those really good nested, or they call them root keywords, some people call them root keywords, and build your title very carefully, that's where you should spend a lot of time. You could rise up within a couple months and be ranking on a lot of really good keywords without as much effort. And that's something I think a lot of people are really just haven't gotten their head around yet. They're still going after the big keywords and the big stuff and trying to rank for things that it's going to be very, very difficult to do.
Right. What are you doing community wise? Are you building up the live and the posts, or is that something you're kind of staying away from?
We've experimented with doing lives, but it's hard to track. Amazon's not giving you the problem with Amazon Live. Amazon Post is that it's hit or miss. You never know. You can have one post that gets 100 reach and the next post gets 10,000 reach. You just don't know. And Amazon's not really telling you, there's no conversion data, so you really don't know. I think if it's rehashing some existing content, it doesn't take your VA or your person more than couple minutes to do it every day or to set it up once a week and schedule it out, there's no harm in it. But I wouldn't put a lot of extra huge effort in it because we don't know what it's really doing. You can guess, well, yeah, I started doing posts and my sales went up, but is it because of the post or is it because, we don't know. So as far as lives, I haven't done any Amazon lives. I know some people that are doing well on that. I think TikTok, as far as is one of the best opportunities. If you can hook up with one of these influencers that has an audience on TikTok, and it's not just there's people that do Amazon unboxings or Amazon products on TikTok, and I know a girl. She's got she's going to probably be speaking at the $1 Billion Seller Summit. She's got 1.3 million followers on TikTok, and all she does is promote Amazon products, and sales boom whenever she does. Yeah. She's very picky on what she takes. But whenever she does it, she's got a really good way of presenting. It's really fun and engaging, and the sales go up. I think that's a major opportunity right now for a lot of people, more so than Instagram or Facebook. I would be focusing on TikTok if you're doing outside influencer stuff. And then, yeah, the PPC, the standard PPC, and if you have a list, using that list, that can be huge, but most people that are starting don't have a customer list. So you either got to build that, but that takes time. And just setting up a Facebook page and getting 200 or 300 followers, those are not necessarily buyers. That's an audience that may go take something for free if you're giving it away for free, but you need a list of buyers that are interested, that have shown buyer intent on your product. Either they bought somebody else's that's similar to yours, or they've bought your product in the past. Because a list of 1,000 people that are if you start a Facebook group for dog lovers, having 1,000 people on your Facebook page for dog lovers is nice, but that's not 1,000 buyers of your product. If those were 1,000 people who had bought your product in the past or bought a similar product, they bought from your competition, or they bought from one of these dog catalogs, or they bought from Chewy.com or something like that, that's a much better list. And so I think a lot of people get lost and get confused and how they should actually build those audiences. And there's some people that like to build an audience first and then come back and use that audience to launch their product. I know one of the speakers at the $1 Billion Seller Summit, which if you came in late, we're giving away a free ticket to the virtual event in February. So if somebody joined on here late, make sure Kelsey will put it up there. Make sure you get into the drawing. We're giving away a $1,500 ticket to that. Someone else is going to speak there about actually building an audience first and how to do it quickly that will actually convert into buying on using that audience to launch your product. So you have an idea for a product right now. Well, you're ready to launch it. You got the factory lined up, everything. Where you're like, well, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to wait a couple months, and I'm going to do this other technique that these guys have that they're going to show you. Build a buyer audience and then use that audience to launch your product. It's a pretty good strategy. And that's something that I think more and more people should be doing.
All right. And on that note, you were just talking about $1 Billion Seller Summit. If you want to have an entry, it's #Wheel of Kelsey. It's a $1,500 ticket. It's one ticket for the event that's coming up in February. And if you tag 2 people, you'll get a second entry. Kelsey, put your finger over the button. 1, 2, 3. Click the button for a word from our sponsor. I wanted to give a quick shout out and say thank you to Global Wired Advisors for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. Global Wired Advisors is a leading digital investment bank focused on optimizing the business sales process. For more information, please call Chris Schifferling and his team over at globalwiredadvisors.com. There we go. Kelsey always complains that I just say, okay, word from our sponsor. And then I kind of steer here with deer in the headlights for a second or two. But okay, the big question of the day, and you touched on it, but let's circle back to it. What's happening now with people who were using search, find, buy or rebates? Where do you see them converting to, or how can you get that same impact of using the old search, find, buy?
Well, some people are still doing it under the table, and just have modified the way they're doing it. It's an influencer thing, or it's or whatever. So that's still happening. I think Amazon's going to probably this year is going to be the year they're going to really start enforcing that. They know they can run an algorithm through all this stuff, and they can see, oh, these buyers are always buying at this price, or they know. It's just as soon as they decide to make it a priority, they will catch everybody and will shut them down. So if I had to make a prediction for 2022 at some point this year, I would say probably summer. If I had to guess, you're going to see a huge closing of a lot of seller accounts. That would be my prediction for past regressions, or people that are continuing to do it right now are going to get caught. And I think you're going to see a big wave of shutdowns at some point this year for sales rank manipulation. What I would do, and what I'm doing on one of my products right now to get around that is, if you're doing a search fund buy, you're basically paying a company, it depends on the company, anywhere from $5 to $20 for orchestrating the search fund buy for you. That was their fee for setting it up for you. Plus you were paying the price of the item. So you get some of that back. So if it's a $20 item and Amazon's fulfillment fees are, if it's 15% commission, that's $3 on a $20 item. If it's Amazon's fees were say $4 to fulfill it, you're out $7. So you're getting $13 of that back in theory. So you've lost the $7 in commission and fees, plus you've lost the cost of your item. So if your item is $5, so on a $20 sale, you've lost $12 basically. Plus this, let's say you paid $15 to the search fund buy person, you've lost $27 to make that sale. And a lot of people are willing to do that to get 100, 500, whatever the number sells. If you're doing 100 sales to get launched, most people probably need to do a lot more than 100 search fund buys to get launched. That's $2,700 and that you went in the hole just on that basic math. There's some other costs involved in that too, but just that basic math, you went in the hole to get to that position. People are willing to do that. So why not take that same $2,700 and just put it into reduce the price of your item? So reduce the price of your item. It doesn't reduce the fulfillment cost, but reduce the commission. So you get a little bit back there. And reduce the price of your item from $20 to $1.99 or $2.99. Or put it on, you can reduce it or put it on sale, either way. And then run heavy top of search PPC. And at the end of the day, in this last case, you're paying $27 per sale to get the sale. You're negative $27 per sale. Chances are, even if it costs you, your A cost is 300%, or it's going to be crazy because your price is $1.99. Your A cost might be 1,000% or something like that. But a lot of people will take a chance on an item for $1.99 when they're doing a search. They might buy two items. They might buy the one that's $19.99 from your competitor that has 1,000 reviews, and they might buy your $1.99 one that has 0 reviews, because what's $2? $2 is $2. And then they may just get them both, see which one is better. And if yours is better, they're going to send the other one back for a refund and keep yours. And that's just one hypothetical example. Or they just might buy just yours because it's cheaper, and they're not going to buy the other one. They'll take a $2 chance. Mm-hmm. So I think that, and then you slowly raise your price up. So and at the end of the day, if you do the math on it and run this through a spreadsheet, you're probably going to spend less money, if not maybe close to the same, to accomplish the same result. And that's all natural, and that's all okay from Amazon. And it's feeding their algorithm. You're getting really good conversions on your PPC because your price is so low. You're going to start getting the sales, and as you slowly raise your price, as reviews start to come in, eventually in a month or two, hopefully you'll be back at $19.99 or $20, wherever your price, and then you'll be off to the races. You'll be ranked really good, and you'll be in a good position. I think that's the strategy that a lot of people need to look at to use to get launched. I mean, if you're in a category that there's hardly any competition, you're selling left-handed bats for one-eyed men or something, some crazy niche down, you don't need to do all that. You could probably just throw it up and you're going to be making sales because Amazon's audience is so huge. But in most categories, that's what I would be doing. I would be playing the pricing game and giving value and low risk value, and then raising it up over time. And
all right,
I think that'll work. Or you got to have your own list. If you have your own list of previous buyers that's registered for your warranty, you've generated it somehow. You have another audience. You can use that audience and probably not have to do what I just said.
So you can reduce your price. Would you be doing that with a promotional coupon or a digital coupon? No. Just reduce your price.
Just roll it. No, I don't want to put any barriers in there. I don't want to make any stumbling blocks. I want to make it as easy as possible. This is the price. I mean, you could put a list price and then sale price. So
Yep.
it's got the scratch through. You could do that, or just lower it. Just make it
Okay.
the normal price is $1.99.
And I know what one of the questions is going to be. If I bring it down to $1.99, Amazon's going to, if I bring it up to $3.99, they might take away my buy box. So we did talk about this before, but you want to just go through how that is prevented?
Yeah, you just need to go in and set your minimum and maximum price. You go into Seller Central and the Manage FBA inventory, click on the Preferences tab on the top right, and turn on the minimum and maximum price. And there's probably not, you could do it in the flat file. There's other places you can do it, but this is how I do it. And put in a minimum price of $1 and a maximum price of $30, and then that pricing band will be set. I would not jump it from $1.99 to $19.99 in one day. That might trigger something. But slowly raising it up and down, a couple bucks at a time, is not going to be a problem if you do that.
There's the nugget. Okay. Kelsey, I think it's, wow. It's already 45 minutes in. Okay. So what kind of I guess we might have a question or two.
Yeah, we have a couple questions that came in. All right. The first one, this is from Manny. How can I hide my BSR on purpose without losing ranking/sales? And then there's kind of a part 2. I don't want the competition to go after me as fast as last year with my new product I'm going to launch. So if hiding the BSR on purpose does not work, is it a good idea to launch multiple variations just to hide the actual winner ASIN?
Why are you worried about your competition? Why are you worried about this? Just focus on. I don't get people get too worried about what the competition's doing and how they compare to competition. Just do your best and put out a good product. And I don't quite understand why you're worried about that. Hiding the BSR for what purpose? So that they don't know that you're selling a lot. Usually the BSR only doesn't show up if you're not assigned a category. If you or is there something else, Norman?
Right in the comment there, because I guess they're bidding up, so it make PPC more expensive.
Do what?
Manny was saying because they make PPC so expensive. So I guess what they're doing is either clicking on her brand and bidding up. So if she wants to go in and defend her brand, or if she wants to do just PPC advertising, they're making it more expensive. They're bidding high
because they know her BSR.
And I don't know about that, but maybe they see her her listing is getting more. Maybe there's, excuse me for a sec. Maybe she is showing up in the listings as being one of the top sellers within that listing, right? So if I'm launching a new product and I'm in a newer category, or let's say it's the wooden egg holder. Okay, there's only so long before other people start to see that you're selling wooden egg holders, and they start to come in and you have new competition,
right? And
now you're starting to get the PPC starting to bid up. I think that's what she means.
And had someone that even copied the title. Yeah, I mean, that's just part of selling on Amazon, unfortunately. I don't know. If they copy your title, I mean, you should still be able to. They make. I mean, in one way that's flattery, because you're setting the trend and you're setting the tone, and people are copying you. It sucks when they do it and it pisses you off. But there's really not a whole lot you can do about it except outmarket them. And
that's
by
it.
outmarketing them, you got to have better video.
Yep.
Or better imagery on your page, or better pricing, or better value of some sort. And they may come in and even copy some of your images, but they can't copy everything. And if they start copying your images or your video, then I would be filing copyrights with the Copyright Office. I would file $40, I think, and you could do it yourself without a lawyer. File a copyright on your images. That they're technically under U.S. law copyrighted the moment they're created, but to enforce it, you actually need this document. File copyrights, and then if someone copies your images or your video, then you can actually have Amazon take them down for IP infringement. And that's pretty easy to do. But the title is difficult. hopefully your brand name is in your title. Amazon wants that to be first, but hopefully your brand name is in the title. So if they copy even with your brand name, then you can go after them for that too. I'm not sure if you can actually copyright the title and enforce that on Amazon. I've never done. I know imagery and video you can, but I don't know if you could copyright the title. It's like a slogan. That's something I have to look into and then go after it. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah. And I look at it, I embrace competition, and if they're bringing more traffic, all the better. And it comes down to one thing: you have to have the better listing. So your images, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I have it right now with one of my calendars we sell. Someone copied our exact title, and it's a copyrighted title, and they put up their own calendar. It has our brand name in it, but it's a piece of junk. And their BSR is like 112,000. Ours is 1,200 or something like that in office products. And I was gonna mess with them and shut them down. But I'm like, what's the point? They're not selling anything anyway, and I'm just not even gonna hassle with it. And it's a short season. It's not like I'm gonna be selling all year long, and I'm almost sold out of my product. I don't care. So sometimes it's just not worth fighting the fight.
Right. Okay, next.
Okay, so we got a couple questions asking about sourcing outside of China. Some were asking about Mexico or Vietnam. So we can start with this question from Harshad. Hey, Kevin, how would be the best way to contact manufacturers in Mexico, Latin America, and is it as safe as China in terms of payments?
Yeah, I've never been ripped off anywhere as far as payments wise. I mean, I do my due diligence, make sure it's a legitimate factory and everything. But manufacturers in Mexico and Latin America, that's a good question for Norm, since he's got a trip leading people down to Mexico to visit some factories in April. But yeah, you can find them on Alibaba. You can find them on 52WMB. I know there's a couple of people working on like an Alibaba for Latin America.
Yeah.
Companies like Gimba, they charge a little bit of money. That's not the cheapest way, but that's what they do. They go and they find them for you. There's ways to look at trade directories and trade shows at a lot of countries like Mexico City probably has like a World Trade Center it's kind of like a Chamber of Commerce type of thing, where you can contact them, say, hey, I'm looking, I don't know the exact name of it in Mexico, but like a Chamber of Commerce for Mexico City, say, hey, I'm looking for a manufacturer. If you can manufacture these belts for me, can you recommend anybody? A lot of times they can recommend people because they want to give their country and their people business. A lot of times you can follow leads like that. There's so many different ways. There's not one like major Alibaba source yet, but I think it's coming. There's a couple other companies that specialize in selling and sourcing in Mexico and Latin America. Most of the stuff in Latin America is going to come out of Mexico or Colombia. Those are probably the two biggest areas. I mean, there are stuff that comes out of Guatemala and El Salvador, and not so much Costa Rica really. But it's mostly Mexico and Colombia would be the two big ones. And then if you want to go further south, Brazil has a lot of manufacturing as well, but Colombia and Mexico would be the two big ones.
Right. The Alibaba, I think you're going to see them putting a big push on this as well. They are going to be they are the main sponsor of the trade of the event. So I know that they're really looking at opening that up. So that's another area that you could take a look at. But everything that Kevin said, the trade associations, and I would check there. But don't forget, check out Alibaba as well.
Okay, awesome. And just a reminder, we do have our hashtag Wheel of Kelsey happening. We've got tons of entries, but you still have time to enter. It's for a free ticket to Kevin's BDSS virtual summit. So that's a value of almost $1,500. So get it in quick. Also, smash those like buttons. Give us a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. The next question is from DK Kim. Would you post a public reply to all positive and negative seller feedbacks?
That's a very good, interesting question. I think it's actually good to do that. It shows you care and you're paying attention. Where I find this useful is if I'm traveling somewhere and I look at TripAdvisor and I'm considering going to a hotel, and I see that people are writing comments about the hotel, and I see that someone from the management or someone from the team is commenting on every one of them. That tells me those people give a shit, that they actually care. And even the positive ones, where it's just a quick thank you so much for your kind words. It means they're paying attention and they're trying to improve. They're in the loop. They're not someone that's like, who cares what they think? We're just going to do our thing anyway. So by doing that on Amazon, a lot of people aren't going to read it, but the people that do, especially on the negative ones, it could make the difference. As long as you're not being defensive or aggressive on it, even if it's a negative one that's just totally out of left field, and you're like, this guy is so freaking Looney Tunes, and what he wrote, this is ridiculous. Just as long as you tone it very professionally and very, I'm so sorry, Mr. Idiot. No, don't call him idiot. I'm so sorry, Mr. Jones. We take this seriously. What can we do to make this right for you? Whatever. Just basically, you just take the nut on your side, even though the guy's an idiot. I think that can go a long way to actually people like looking at a negative review and go, oh, okay. And people can see. They can look at a review sometimes and go, this person is just off their rocker. But by commenting, I think it shows that you care. And so if you have the time to do that and you do it in a very good way, I think it can help in some cases, people that are on the fence for sure.
Yeah, I remember a review that I got, and it was just horrible. And it was about the person receiving one of my bars of soap, and it was the wrong color of green. How do you okay, it's the wrong color of green. I mean, it's in the image, but she didn't like when she received it, she didn't like it. And she went on, and it just was a scathing review. But you just have to bite your tongue and you handle it professionally. And like you said, we'll take this into consideration, blah, blah, blah. What type of green would you like?
Yeah.
But in the back of your mind, you know what you want to say.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of times, sometimes when you first read in one of those crazy reviews, you're like, you want to be defensive. You want to F you, and you start to write something. But I always like to cool down first. I like read it today and be pissed off and complain to the wife, go kick the dog, whatever you're going to do. And then, no, don't kick the dog.
No.
I love dogs. And then come back the next day when you're cooled down and actually write something more reasonable.
Okay. Next question, Kels.
Okay. Let me see. From Tony, have you done any shoppables videos with influencers?
On TikTok, yeah, where they have the little button there to buy, I have. But like on Instagram shoppable, I think that's what they call it on Instagram. I have not on Instagram, where they can click around on the picture and is that what you mean, Tony?
Yeah, if you could just clarify, Tony, and we can come back to that.
Okay.
Okay, from Zane, how do you find reliable freight forwarders in Vietnam?
There's a lot of, the big guys that bring stuff from China also bring from Vietnam. So it's any, Unicargo, any of those people. We brought in a bunch of stuff during the pandemic from Vietnam, and Unicargo handled that for us. So any of the big forwarders are already bringing stuff from China. They can bring it in from Vietnam too.
Okay. Just a couple more questions. Kevin, do you believe that keyword ranks are tied to specific price bands? For example, you could rank top of page for XYZ at $5, but maybe not at a $15 price point, or vice versa, ignoring buy box issues?
I'm not sure on that one. My hunch would be no. I think it's tied to more which Amazon's algorithm is geared at pleasing the customer first and then making Amazon as much money as they can. So if Amazon thinks that your $15 item is going to please the customer more and it's going to make more money for Amazon, they're going to show you over the $5 item. Where the $5 item will win is if that's what the customer wants. If it pleases the customer more because they're choosing it a lot more often, and maybe Amazon not making quite as much money on it, Amazon might favor it. But if they're close, the $15 one's going to win because it's going to make Amazon more money.
Okay.
All right. And going back to Tony, he said he meant on Amazon. for the
Oh, so
shoppables.
through posts. I guess Tony meant through posts. So Kevin, you don't do a lot with posts. I don't. Yeah, you touched on this a little earlier. You're not putting too much time and effort into Amazon posts, right?
Right. Yeah, we did for a while when it first came out, but lately we've kind of backed off a little bit.
All right.
Okay. And just a few more. Darwin, can you recommend a one-stop shop mold manufacturer for a plastic injection kids toy?
No, I have no idea on that one.
You may go ahead, Kels.
I was going to say that's something that maybe Afalabi can help you out on. We're doing a whole new live on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm sure Afalabi could lead you in the right direction.
Yeah, or Kels, you could send that over, savings at wholenewworldwide.com, but just get him the information. He should be able to help you out with that.
Okay, great. And Tony's saying, no, there's a new section at the bottom of the detail page where the influencer video stays up. Have you heard of this before? Have you seen that?
No. Are you talking about Amazon Shorts, or is this something new? Influencer video stays up. That's a shoppable. No, I'm not familiar with that. I might have seen it, but I'm not following on that.
Sorry, Tony, that's new to me too.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Do you have a page? Do you have a link that you could post to somebody's, maybe not your own product, but some product that has that, where you could see what you're talking about?
Yeah, and I know that Amazon has their Amazon posts. As long as you've posted 10, at least that was the criteria before, your posts could be shown on your listing. But no, I don't know of influencers that you can see on your listing. I'd be interested in seeing that, Tony.
All right, and we'll wrap it up here. We are over the hour mark. From Dr. Cause, hey Kevin, what is your most underrated tactic on Amazon ads these days?
I still say video ads. Have a really good, compelling video, because you get that whole real estate. You take up the spot of like 3 or 4 listings across. If you can create a really good eye-catching video ad, that's the most underrated. Still, a lot of people aren't taking advantage of that, or they're creating crappy videos that aren't really showing the product in the best way. It's just a slideshow, of their images or something, which is maybe better than nothing, but something that's really compelling, has good music if someone has the music turned on, and really illustrates the different uses of your product and the different problems it solves in that video. And you can do something really quick in 15, 20 seconds. I've seen some really good examples of that. I always, when I stumble across those, I save them as a swap file. Like if I'm searching for something on Amazon for me personally, or I'm just doing product research and I come across a really good video, I actually download that video and put it into a little folder on my computer, so that the next time I'm looking for inspiration or ideas on what to create or what to tell my video guys to create, I can say, hey, do something like this for our product. But video advertising is still, it's not done as well as it could be, and it's still a good value if you do it right on Amazon for PPC.
Okay, so I think that's it. Just last chance. Hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, or tag 2 people, and you'll have a chance to win a $1,500 ticket to Kevin's $1 Billion Seller Summit, the virtual $1 Billion Seller Summit. And we'll just give that a sec.
The dates on that, I'm checking here in my little calendar here.
Oh yeah. What is the picture for February?
You don't have the holidays in here. Normally people put Valentine's Day or something on the 14th of February, but next year's calendar, Norm, you got to put the dates for the BDS. It's the 23rd and the 24th of February. So you got
done.
So everybody knows, as well as Valentine's Day and President's Day and Thanksgiving in Canada. Make sure you do that one, because that's a different day than Thanksgiving. What's it, October 1st or whatever it is, July 1st?
It's in there somewhere. Yeah. Somewhere. Okay, so let's get over to the Wheel of Kelsey.
All right, here we go.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
Oh, just a second.
All right. Just a couple people.
Just one or two. I think people were excited about my hair. All right. Here we go. We got tons and tons of entries. Thank you, everyone.
52 entries. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going to shuffle these all up. And here we go. So if you are the winner, please email me at k@lunchwithnorm.com. You have 48 hours to reach out to me.
Who is it?
And the winner is Darwin.
All right, Darwin. Fantastic.
All right.
That's a great prize.
Yeah. So what'll happen, Darwin, is you email Kelsey your email and your full name. I need your, not just the C. I need your full name. And then in about a week or two, you'll get an email that shows as if you have paid. You won't get a receipt, but it'll be like here's what's coming up and here's how to log in and that kind of thing. So you'll be able to log in on the 23rd and 24th of February, and you'll be included in all the emails that go out to all the people that paid $1,500.
All right, fantastic. Thanks a lot, Kevin, for that. That's
Sure.
an awesome prize. Okay, so hopefully we can book you back next month or so. Would love to have you back on. Yeah, hopefully they're not too tough.
I'll have to check my schedule. Your people talk to my people.
No, check your calendar.
Yeah, I have to check my calendar. That's why I need to check my calendar. See.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much for being on. It was an awesome episode. Can't wait to have you back on.
I appreciate it, man. It's always fun.
All right, we'll see you later. All right, everybody. I hope you really liked that episode. Next episode on Monday, we got the professor coming on, Professor Howard Ty, the professor of Amazon, and we're going to be talking shop with him as well. This is the first time he's been on the podcast. I meet him all over the place. He's got a ton of information. He runs a bunch of high-level events as well. But anyways, he's going to be on for the first time. It should be an interesting conversation. And before we go any further, Kels, button, another word from our sponsor. Thank you, Z.co, for sponsoring this episode of Lunch with Norm. Are you looking to take your e-commerce business from local to global? You can with the help of Z and their brand new app. That's right. You can track live shipments with push notifications, get detailed lead times for each stage of your shipment, and store all compliance and VAT reclaim documents in the palm of your hand, all while listening to Lunch with Norm. Ready to expand your e-com empire and take your Amazon FBA business global? Use the link in the description to learn more about Z's new app that's now available on desktop and mobile. That's Z.co, ZEE.co. Okay.
All right. Wow. Yeah, we got lots going on. So thank you again to everyone who tuned in today. We always love our Kevin King episodes. So yeah, next week too, we have Ashlyn Hayden.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Talk about insurance. Yeah. And then Danny McMillan also on Friday. So
it's gonna be what a week. Howard, yeah, Ashley, Ashley and Ashlyn. I'm thinking Ashley Armstrong, but and then who was the last person you were saying?
Danny.
Oh, Danny
McMillan. Yeah,
he hasn't been on for a long time.
Yeah. So it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be looking forward to it.
It's gonna be great.
But yeah, okay. So if you guys haven't already, please smash those like buttons. Give us those thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it as well. We are starting to put up new blogs up on our Lunch with Norm website. We're aiming for once a week on Fridays. So our newest blog is the Helium 10 versus Jungle Scout. This breaks down everything you need to know when you're making your decisions. And so, yeah, it's great. It's huge. We really dive into everything. So check it out. That's the lunchwithnorm.com website. You can go over there. I also put the link in the comments as well. Norm, do you want to talk about Seller Mania for a little bit?
Yeah, well, Seller Mania is coming up on Monday. I think it's 3 to 5, and it's a panel of about 5 or 6 people. It's going to be great. Actually, we will have a guest appearance with Kelsey doing the Wheel of Kelsey. So he's been asked to do a guest appearance. So that'll be fun too.
I'm glad I found out about this.
Check your Slack channel. It's all in there. You're supposed to be checking that.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll see. Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I'll be there. So looking forward to that. Come join us. The link, I'm posting it right now.
Yep.
It's
And also the other, just quickly, it just was announced. We don't even have the prices up yet, but if you are interested, go to themexicotrip.com and you can see a little bit about what Amy Weiss, Tim Jordan, and I are doing in Mexico.
All right. So yeah. Awesome. So thanks again, everyone. I hope you guys have a great weekend. And thank you for all the questions. If you're new, you can always head over to our Facebook group, Lunch with Norm, Amazon FBA and eCommerce Collective. We've got a great community over there. And yeah, it's great to kind of interact and meet the people in the comment section, our loved Beard Nation. So yeah, check it out. We're always hanging out there. So yeah, I think that's about it.
All right. So join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon Eastern Standard Time. As Kelsey was saying, we love our community. We couldn't do it without you. Enjoy the rest of your day and your weekend.
Lunch with